As well-versed as most of us may be about our money and the nation's financial systems, there exists a dark, thriving underground economy that the vast majority of Americans know next to nothing about. The selling of children for sex is a business. It's called child sex trafficking, and it generates millions in Seattle alone. We're talking about an economy that carries a monumental cost, a human cost. And this is how child sex traffickers do business. It's all about supply and demand. First, the trafficker, most often male, looks for someone to sell, typically targeting those most vulnerable, those easiest to manage and manipulate: children. He'll likely begin his search on social media platforms where conversations are anonymous, widespread, and easy to start. He'll then single out and attempt to engage girls and boys, teens and preteens with whom he can find an in, a topic over which he and the child can bond. And from that bond, the young person's trust is born and the relationship begins. The typical child sex trafficker might initiate a conversation by promising a kid a job, drugs, or alcohol. Or he may offer protection from a dangerous situation at home. But as he gains control, psychological control over the child, the trafficker's sway becomes greater and more menacing. He may even resort to the making of violent threats to force the victim to remain engaged. And as he pulls the youngster closer to him and a sense of dependency is formed, that child slowly becomes more isolated from family and friends. And this is the point at which the trafficker puts him or her up for sale. Sadly, surprisingly, the demand is there, and the internet makes transacting easy. Through what is considered a pretty seamless and sophisticated system, the child sex trafficker uses a variety of websites to connect with buyers. And who are these buyers? They're people you may not suspect: teachers, pastors, police officers, and judges, the guy next door. And despite their different professions and backgrounds, these criminals share two things in common: they're male and they're abusers. Adults consciously choosing to purchase children for sex. In the end, the trafficker gets the money, the buyer gets his sex, and the child, the victim, is exploited and sold and sold and sold again. These boys and girls are minors. Legally, they cannot consent to a sexual experience. This is sexual exploitation. This is trafficking. This is the human rights issue of our time.